Mazz, your Red Sox thoughts at this hour.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. What kind of team are they? They're a 500 team. They're playing 500 baseball. How many times did Alex Cora say that?
6.
How many times? He sounds agitated, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So, thank goodness he looked pissed in that 8th inning. I think it was the 8th inning when Jansen came in and basically walked the bases loaded, gave up 1 hit, walked in a run, and then what's his name came in? Rich Hill came in. He walked in 2 more. They walked in 3 runs in the inning. They issued 5 walks between the 2 of them. And I don't need to tell you that combined, Rich Hill and Kenley Jansen, 80 years old. They can play from the blue tees, those 2 guys, and they still couldn't get it over the plate. That thing was another meltdown last night, and it's Cora to me finally sounded annoyed. 500. They were 11 or 12 games over at one point. 500. They have collapsed down the stretch. They are very much in line to finish with what they finished in the last couple of years, which is to say 78 and 84 again.
Ugh.
Again. What, at the end of the day, what is different? What's different? So they flirted with it a little longer than they did in the other 2 years.
And it felt different for a lot of it.
Yes, but the number is the number. You're still coming in at the same thing. You've been a 500 suck team for 5 years. Basically, that's what it is. 5 years, 500, as Cora said. The guy couldn't even get the question out last night, and Cora cut him off. We're a 500 team. We're a 500 team. We're a 500 team. 500. We're a 500 team. Over and over and over again. And the quality of play, some of the mistakes that they're making, the errors and the walks.
That thing last night with those walks was unbelievable. It's one thing to lose, but to embarrass yourself like that was, I was watching, I'm like, this is ghoulish.
Again, veteran guys.
Yeah.
Kenley Jansen and Rich Hill have been around forever. The 2 of them, around forever. They're playing the freaking Mets, and they can't throw a strike with the game on the line. And the night before, another veteran guy, Chris Martin, got out there and got his face kicked in, launching balls all over the place. Another one. So, it's one thing to say we're a young team, but then you have veteran guys on the mound crapping their pants in the eighth inning of 1 and 2 run games. It's embarrassing. It is. It's embarrassing. Pathetic, actually.
Can I blame Cora for some of it?
Sure. I mean, why not?
But so 3 straight years, they need to play their best baseball and they're playing their worst baseball. So what can...
Well, you can't fire him. You just gave him $21.75 million. I mean, you could, but they won't. So, and I'm not telling you, at the end of the day, I don't think Cora is the problem. Okay, I think the problem is they don't have real pitchers who can perform against good competition under stress. That, to me, is what it is. And frankly, I think their lineup is kind of half-assed, too. It's a Mickey Mouse good lineup. And when I say Mickey Mouse, it's a platoon lineup. Cora's got to, match left and right, pinch hit, do this and that to get the right matchups. When you have a good team, does anybody remember whether they did this much pinch hitting when they were good?
Right,
because
exactly.
they didn't. You know why? Because they were loaded. They had talent coming out their ears. And he just filled out the lineup card and sent it out there. And that was it. You might have had to hit for 1 or 2 guys tops at the bottom of the lineup. Really 1. That was it. You didn't have to jump through hoops to try to win games. So anytime you played someone good, you were the better team.
There's some issues with Rafi Devers recently.
Yes. So 2 nights ago, not last night, the night before, Devers was sitting in front of his locker. He's been dealing with some injuries lately, and the media was waiting there and instructed team personnel that they wanted to speak with Devers. He got up, walked into the other room, came back, sat there another 20 minutes. The media stood around for an hour, and then Devers left without speaking with them. Now, at the end of the day, I don't give a rat's ass whether a guy speaks with a member of the media or not. But I do think it is reflective of an absence of character or, some sort of leadership problem on the team, that the best player, and again, it's not about the media. It's about someone has to speak or answer to the fan base. That's what the media is there for, is to get questions to the best player about the state of the team.
Wasn't there also something where we're like, he didn't tell him he wasn't talking? In other words, he just let the guys sit there with their thumbs up their
Correct.
ass,
He made them wait it out.
and then didn't talk.
Correct.
As opposed to saying right up front, guys, I'm not talking tonight.
Correct.
Which is like also, a lack of accountability, but it's also a little more considerate of those guys that are in the room.
Correct.
So it was inconsiderate and
It's unprofessional is
And
what it
unprofessional.
is. Yeah, and again, and I would say, at the end of the day, all due respect to Sean McAdam, I don't give a rat's ass how long Sean McAdam's waiting around the clubhouse, even though I've been standing there right with him for many of those.
Not your problem anymore.
Yeah, it used to be, not anymore. Or Cotillo or those guys. And again, I've been there. It sucks. Don't get me wrong. But when the team's going bad, part of the reason Bogarts was loved here is because he was there at the end of every game and the fans saw it. Win or lose, he talked about the state of the team and he delivered a message from the clubhouse about the team, relative to how they were playing and where they were in the standings. They don't have that guy now.
Yeah, Devers, he's partially responsible here, but they shouldn't try to make him something he's not. He doesn't want the role of being a leader of the team.
Agreed. So the fact that it didn't happen is really the issue. It's less of a Devers story in some ways than it is about the fact that they don't have someone who is willing to do it. Carabas told me last night that the guy who should really do it is Ref Snyder, but he's a part-time player.
Jesus, you can't have a... That's not the guy.
I know, right? So they don't have it. And you can't have Duran do it. You never know what's going to come out of his mouth.
Cassius.
Seriously, they don't have it. So it is kind of a rudderless team in that way. Cora, I think, does his part. The last time I checked, I think he's never ducked out of a post-game thing. So, but that's the manager. Sometimes you need a player to express it. And every team in every sport has them. Every team. The Red Sox don't. It's pathetic. Again, they're unraveling again. And the way they're losing games, errors, walks, it's ugly.
And haven't the Royals lost 7 straight?
Yes. They're crapping their pants.
It's like the door opened wide for you.
Oh,
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. The Royals are crapping their pants. The Tigers have played well to get back in it. It's all American League Central teams. They're all flawed.
Yeah.
And by the way, the only difference between those teams and the Red Sox is that they play the White Sox. So, for example, if you were to look at Minnesota's record,
Right, I got it.
and subtract the 12-1 record,
They'd be under 500. Well,
right,
under 500.
yeah, exactly. And same thing, the Royals would be right around 500. Detroit would be under 500. They're all 500 teams. And you can't throw a strike with a 44-year-old and a 36-year-old or 37-year-old on the mound in the late innings against the Mets. The Mets. Joke.
Okay.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Red Sox analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.